Welcome, one and all, to another SoulSym Sideshow. Again, as usual, I am your host, SoulSym Mirak, and with us again for the second time, we have Vyrtuos
Is it multiple personalities if you're actually two people?
and Asterik.
It is not. Or perhaps it is.
So, um, for those of you who missed out on this past episode 18 of Asterix and Envoys, um, there was some stuff happening. We had some things happening on two fronts. Zevral was searching for uh, uh, Makalyn, the leader of the Shadow Weavers and the owner of the of Labyrinthian Books, um, while Vyrtuos was busy um, doing his own search, conducting his own uh, uh, investigation, while also trying to prepare himself for a conversation with his brother Monium. Um, and this afternoon, this episode, we are going to actually get into the weeds and the nooks and crannies of that that preparation, um, and get a glimpse into what Virtuos was able to pick up and understand about what's happening around him and the information that he recently received. Um, so, without further ado, Virtuos, you find yourself um, in your personal domain, your pocket dimension, uh, overwhelmed with emotion. Um, your, your 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 skin is on pins and needles, um, and your heart rate is probably 2 to 3 times faster than it normally is. Um, as you realize that the brother that you said goodbye to, or that walked away from you so long ago, um, is not only still very much alive, but in the very same city as you, and um, holding, wielding power that you have no idea of really how to fathom. You don't understand the scale of it, but you do know that there are things that you want to say and things that you wanted to say um, to him in this time. So, uh, describe for us the environment that you're in right now and um, what you are doing to prepare for this inevitable meeting.
All right. So the moment I got there, it was almost a double casted spell. I would have warped similar to pretty much the same pocket dimension I had brought Kryn to that one time, but at the same time casted a mass clone spell, almost like a multi simulacrum spell, to blanket out throughout the city. Inside my personal domain, it looks very much like almost like a starry night and standing on top of a perfectly clear body of water. But the reflection of the water is Asterisk's face, and the constellations in the stars are also Asterisk's face. And despite the fact that there is a sort of surface below me, I'm still just kind of drifting around, panicking really heavily, but not quite. Sort of like mini teleports blinks in different areas. Okay, okay. This is okay. This is okay. I am not bothered. This. Oh no, this is terrible. This is bad. This is bad, and none of them are going to help me, and then they're going to attack them, and the water would ripple, and Asterisk's words would kind of resonate around Virtuos. Calm yourself. Breathe. Focus. Your energy is scattered. Right. Breathe. Calm. Slow down. Talk like Aster. Really slow like this. But Aster, what am I going to do? This is this isn't supposed to. Okay, no, breathe. Slow. I am breathing. I am present. When you are anxious, you're living in the future. And when you're depressed, you're living in the past. But when you're at peace, you are present. I am in the future. I'm freaking out. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's going to happen. The waves will kind of ripple once more. And even as the water started to rise up and mold into a humanoid shape that looked very similar to Vyrtuos, the stars themselves seemed to fall into that water sculpture, giving it substance and creating all these glowing meridian points until Aster was more tangible and visible. Begin with the truth. This is something you have longed for a while now. Despite the fear, you know within you there is excitement, joy. Focus on that. Vyrtuos would be very calm, relaxing, closing his eyes, breathing. Okay, okay, okay. I mean, do I tell the others? Not the others, but like my family, my sister, my mom. Do I tell them, or is it just I? No, no. I'm calm and I'm focused on the present. I said I'm going to go find him and stop him, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And why would you not allow the others to assist you? Because they're not people, Asterisk. I mean, yeah, they're people, but they protect the world. They don't actually live in it. For them, it's just, oh, here's a problem. Let's remove it. Let's do crazy collateral damage in the process. Oh, let's fix that collateral damage. Let's go drinking now. And that's like it. That's all they really do. But this isn't like that. I can't just go in there and fight him. And even if I did what Wondox wanted to do and had hosted a meeting, he would prepare. He would be ready for that, and it would just make things so much more difficult. He just sighed, leaning back. And Aster was quiet, allowing him to feel those emotions, allowing him to process it in the silence. Okay, feeling a little better now. I just needed a little bit of time. I Okay, we're gonna do this step by step. And even as he's saying that, he's looking at the water. The water right now is reflecting a lot of different memories. His memories with Monium actually weren't usually that bad. And Asterisk beside him would kind of point at this water. Look, observe, and speak his true name. I would, but pandemonium just seems so mean, it's almost like a curse. I don't know why mommy. Okay, focusing. He'd look at the water, and he would see his life kind of reflected, seeing that his older brother always kind of lived in a bit of a different world than him, was always ahead of him. But it was more from a young Vyrtuous' eyes that he was seeing these memories. Coming home and seeing trophies, his brother's successes plastered on the wall, all these like dazzling awards, and being really, really proud of it. But as the memories continued, even as Vyrtuos was like growing up, while Monium was an achiever, Vyrtuos was not. He had his minor illusion spell and he loved it. Like that was seemed to be all he needed. That caused a lot of arguments between the two. But one day, Vyrtuos had brought up a point that Monium hated. And it was the fact that, yeah, you have all these spells and all these cool, amazing things you could do. But this one thing I can do, look. He'd show the illusion. And at this point, even as a kid, his minor illusion had gotten so focused and so concentrated, it could create sound, sensory, physical sensation. It could attack all five senses at once. And The fact that he could turn it into almost anything allowed him to duplicate a lot of what Monium had to put a lot more work and complicated effort into. That had been one of their first major fights when that happened. And yet, despite that, Vyrtuos, I always held on to that little bit of pride. Like, yeah, you have all these amazing things you could do, and I can only do this one tiny little mediocre thing, but you can't, and I can't. And then, of course, came the time where he was chosen, and things had gotten a lot worse from there. It didn't help that his sister and the rest of his family were all pretty overachievers and superheroes too. So it made life. Monium, who always wanted to be the best and always wanted to be on top, it made things difficult between them. When the memories faded, though, Vyrtuos, he had this slight somber smile, a sort of reminiscent sigh. I really wish I could go back to that. Aster just had this placid look. Every day, life is changing. Every day, your mind and body changes. And there is no going back, which is why the memory is so precious. Use it, build upon it, and figure out how to move forward.
In that moment,
Okay.
um, as you're trying to as Virtuous is focusing on Aster's words, um, you are hit with the realization that one of your clones has fallen. Um, the and you're hit with images from Diorteca, Diorosa, the area where you had first encountered the ghost hunters, and
Mm,
um, you uh, are shown images of um, two individuals in stockades that are floating around the streets as they are being pelted with rocks and rotten fruit and other things. And the stockades themselves seem to be spewing out gold coins towards the passersby who are tormenting these two. Um, uh, you also see um, people in distressed states that are, um, you know, too scatterbrained to really notice uh, your clone walking through the streets, um, or don't even want to acknowledge him. And as you turn a corner, or as this clone turns a corner, it's met by this eerie visage of um, a ghost warrior that you can immediately identify as a revenant. Um, and it is not carrying a sword, but just a slab of concrete, um, um, like a concrete column, a support column. Um,
mm.
and it's dragging it uh, behind itself down the street um, before you feel a sharp pain at the base of your neck, and the clone is gone. The impression
Yeesh.
fades.
Wincing immediately, even in this floaty astral space, Virtuos staggered forward. Uh, what was that? Aster, looking up at the skies, kind of displaying the scene that was pulled from the clone's memory, had almost a smile on his face. Retribution, Mojo, and Zero. Sorry, no, he would say space and production. are showing what happens when one torments for a living. By the gods, that's horrible. Why would they? That's the kind of stuff. That's exactly what Monium would do. That is messed up. And a memory would again flicker in the water below him of a time Vyrtuos had walked in and caught Monium extracting information, quote unquote, from someone by pulling their head off, sinew and everything, but keeping them healed throughout the entire process so that the head was still alive until this person in agony said whatever he needed to say, whatever Monium wanted. And when Monium put him back, he had attached his body to that of a rat so that the head was too heavy for the neck and the face would just drag across the floor as the rat scurried around. And his brother had laughed. Vyrtuos clenched his fist and would actually try to reach out. Would I be able to pull those revenants into my little dimension?
Yes. Give me a. We'll call that a. We'll call that intelligence check or arcana. We'll call that an arcana. Yeah.
I'm good at that. A 35.
35 is acceptable. You pull the two revenants. Oh yeah, you pull the two revenants uh, into your domain. They are standing on the lake, um, on the surface of the lake, and in their reflections, um, you see one was a ghost hunter, um, and the other was just a average civilian. He just looked like a normal person. As best you can tell, he worked with his hands, possibly a carpenter or some manner of uh, craftsman. And they are standing listless before you, uh, just in your domain. What would you? Um, what was the purpose behind you bringing them here?
Aster, help me fix them. No. What? What do you mean no? Look at them. They have reaped what they have sown. I will not go against the judgment of production. This is his domain. You see, this right here is why I don't like to switch with you. These are people. And okay, yeah, maybe they did some messed up things. They did some really messed up things actually, but this, like dragging them across the street and having people attack them and giving them money for being as just messed up and just perpetuating the cycle of vengeance, like no, no, no. I if I'm going to deal with Monium, then I have to be able to at least deal with things like this. And this is not the right way. They, we're just gonna look around rapidly. The fuck was that? No, focus. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. Help me out, Aster. We're not going to fix them. We're not going to cure them. What we are going to do is give them some semblance of of free will. I'm going to create, and he would create two masks, trying to inscribe magic into them. We are going to give them a semblance of free will, and what Zero should have done, or Mojo, or either of them, is just make them be of service. Make them do something. Make them go out their way. Maybe for infinity, maybe for eternity, but make them help people, protect people, build things, use their talents, become bodyguards, stop other bad people like them, make them guards. There's so much good that they can still do. And on top of that, we'll inscribe into the mask a semblance of free will, because if they're going to be tortured, it's going to be of their own choice. Every time they do bad, they'll go back to feeling that pain. Every time they're not doing anything, they'll feel anxious and need to do something. And every time they do something good, that'll be the only relief they find. Make them of service to other people. Make them something that they've done just a little better. He looked at Asteris kind of desperately. That has to be better than this, right? This doesn't help anybody. To his surprise, Aster was actually rather quiet. Perhaps. Perhaps? Yes! Yes! We're going to do this! Help me! And he just started trying to get to work on creating these masks that would have essentially those parameters to them, giving them a semblance of free will, though they couldn't actually like talk or anything. Making them feel pain whenever they tried to do anything bad, like even like drinking, anything destructive to themselves or anyone else. They'd feel excruciating pain and be stopped. And then the only time they'd feel any kind of relief or joy is when they're of service and helping others.
Okay. Um, the first mask would take you some time to create, and the the data pathway, or the runic pathing of the um, of the conditions of this mask uh, took some nuancing to connect to one another. Um, what you're inscribing is rather advanced magic, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so um, but you are able to do it. And which which revenant is going to get the mask first?
The one that was in Ghost Hunter.
Okay. Um, as you approach the ghost hunter and um, place the mask upon his face, it will look straight up into the starry sky of your domain, and you are hit with another flood of memories. Um, this time, you're walking through uh, the Red Lantern District, and you are once again you see inside of um, a magic saddle, but this one is the layout of this one is different than the one that you visited with the other aspects. Um, and your clone is asking for information, but not getting a whole lot of answers in return, as it's being uh, felt on and flirted with by the various workers within the saddle. Um, and uh, it's handed a drink, a very light alcohol, um, and it takes the shot because it's encouraged to do so. Um, you feel a light burning in your chest, and then a very sharp sting uh, close to your heart, and the memory fades.
That was his memory?
That was the clone. The clone was dissipated.
Oh, another clone. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Gripping my chest, narrowing my eyes. Aster, I think we're going to have to work quickly. Um, I'm, I think I'm dying a lot. He had this kind of sad smile. We looked at Aster. And Aster actually looked rather concerned. This
Um,
is the path you've chosen. Yeah, yeah, I guess it is. Let's get this over with.
Another set of memories as you are walking through dark alleys, um, passing by walls that are actually bookshelves. It's just walls lined with books. Um, and there's some lamp lights here and there, uh, and the wires that are connecting building, or rather the clotheslines that are connecting building to building across the, like above the clone's head in this alleyway, are pinned with pages rather than actually clothes. Um,
Mm,
um, and you are able to see into one of the windows between these bookshelf walls. Uh, there are young mages at desks, uh, scribing scrolls and reading from books. Uh, and one of them looks a lot like Monium. Uh, and your clone's attention is drawn to this image of your brother, um, and you can kind of hear some, um, you can kind of hear information, um, or hear words being spoken. Um, you think you think it's easy being an archmage? You think that path is something that is just given to people just because they have talent? You have to know how your spells will interact with reality in order to be effective with your magic. Don't think that being some kind of prodigy will allow you to just skirt by with minimal effort. You have to study your butt off and you have to get everything right. If your ink is even the slightest bit off, your spell will go awry in ways that you could never predict.
mm. Oh, that one hit. No, you're good. That one hits close to home, though. But despite that, Bert had a little smile on his face. He had heard that lecture before. Huh. You you know, I am only now realizing, Esther, he probably already knew I was here, didn't he? Esther just smiled. Of course, as meticulous and careful and observant as your brother is. Yeah, uh, man. And then the clone's dying, and now he. I mean, those clones could be for anything. Could be looking for anyone. I'm a big important person too now, and I work for Avril, and she's a dragon lady, and I could be doing all kinds of important things. So maybe he doesn't know I'm looking for him. I okay. I think this is going to be the moment, though. I have to go and talk to him before the others do. I have to somehow convince him that he should just pack up and leave. That's never going to work. And we can't threaten him. And the others think I'm going to go try and go kill him, but I mean, I can't even do that. I don't even know if he can be killed. Like, let's say I decide to go, oh, vengeance, and I'm a badass now, and kill him, like with a knife or something. And that's kind of personal. With a gun or something. And he just has like a bunch of different bodies, or like a spell that transfers the damage over to someone else. Or even worse, like I'll hit him with like a whole crap ton of like meteors and stuff, and he'll have. Wondox says he has artifacts now. He probably has an artifact to absorb it, and then he'll use it to like threaten someone and all that extra power. And there's no winning this, is there? Oh man, he's already won. It's already over. There's nothing we can do. Calm.
We're looking for you.
Vyrtuos' blood ran cold. Asteris, goddamn, went Super Saiyan though. His hair glowing, locks standing up on end, eyes glowing, glaring furiously. Aster, no, no, no.
You are. Come here.
Aster? It calls us. Prepare yourself, Vyrtuos. But wait, I'm not ready.
We're be for you. And your pocket dimension kind of begins to tighten at the edges, and you can see two, well, four claws pierce through the veil and peel uh, the your safe space open, and you fall out into a square, a city square of sorts. You can see golden chains to your right, um, Zevral to your left, with Mojo, um, and dust clearing as a very familiar magic um, has finished ravaging a oddly confined space. Um, uh, and looking up, um, you can see Maha falling out of the sky, and across the the across the square, you can see um, Wondox kind of sitting at a like a coffee table, uh, and he clearly looks confused. We and to with you.
What? What? Looking almost directly at Mojo and Zevral. What happened? Please don't tell me you. And as before you even finished the sentence, his eyes would glow. Hair would stand on end. Stars would kind of spiral around him, and also golden glowing, almost firefly things like the tattoos that he had gotten from Maha. And immediately he'd find himself floating in the air, looking like a puppet on a string, drifting, head dangling. A transparent asterisk energy glowing above him, glaring at FraXure.
You are go good to see you, brother.
Brother of mine, your vibrations are as repulsive as always.
You compliment me, brother. So good to see you again.
Your version of good, like everything else you are, is a mockery. Release these people now. They have nothing to do with this.
You asked for a bird after such words make my brain go, or it will let them
go after we talk.
You are little more than an itch beneath the skin that cannot be scratched. But fine. Let us have this conversation.
You're agreeing. First. So, what to talk about after this?
Aster was looking down at all of the others. In his eyes, they were all glowing beacons of light amidst this great, twisted, spiraling, writhing darkness that FraXure created, and then glared back at him. You know, as well as I, that the physical plane is not our domain. You have no business interfering. Whatever your host has done is his own consequences, but this stretches beyond. You imperil everything, all of us, and even the astral plane with your antics. You know not the power these aspects have, nor the carelessness they wield them with.
That's so touch. You care so much. I am supposed to let an ammonium pass due to negligence. No, no. I am dream eater now. I possess more power than you could imagine now, dear brother. I fear nothing, least of all dreamless aspects.
All of that power, all of that majesty you claim to have, and yet you still lack the one thing you've wanted all this time. An astral hand would kind of hold up Vyrtuos.
Oh, oh. Here. What I think you, you,
I propose to you a challenge, a game, if you will.
I'm,
You always enjoyed watching things break, shattering them, mind, body, and soul. I challenge you then. Try to shatter my champions. But if you fail, you return to the astral realm and do not return. And your host, Monium, relinquishes this ill-gotten power he's obtained.
all is shame to one time, same Aster, same pushing, the same lack of vision.
My vision has never been clearer. You, with glass in your eyes, have no right to judge anyone else's perspective.
I judge what I see only. watched you push others to be better and force breaks in their mind space. This is only your newest and most powerful attempt to make your will manifest in reality. I offer power. You show rules.
You offer power unearned, unfiltered to those unprepared. I unlock the power that lies within each and every one within my space. And that is exactly why I know that you will never be able to harm any of them in any way other than physical. Try as you might. So confident I am in my challenge that I offer you a reward, the one thing you truly wanted. We will trade. I will take this. He looked at where Monium was. This broken ball of ego.
And I will take your fractured id.
Do we have an accord?
If you are sure, a Esther, you have my attention. Mighty magnanimous of you of such temptation without permission, as I had saying, Esther, same machinist. Let's play your game. See who wins.
Master, and thus the puppet-like Vyrtuos would both smirk. The one thing these aspects have taught me, a concept that even in your infinite lives and wisdom could never fathom, is faith. Let this loss you are about to experience teach you that lesson.
Confidence suits you as always, brother. Let's
As madness finds you,
let's see how fate manifests in my game. Dreams are my domain now.
good. Then see, with all of your power, how powerless you are even in your own domain. Try your best. Try your damnness. I beg of you. Everything in your power, hold nothing back, so that you may know truest, utter defeat.
And with that, we will end this sideshow.
Hey,
If you have enjoyed this episode, please consider hitting that like button, pressing the subscribe, and clicking on the notification bell so you get notified anytime we do anything here on the channel. Uh, this has been a SoulSym Sideshow, Aspects and Envoys 18.2. Um, I have been your host, Soulsym Mirak. With me this evening, Vyrtuos,
Aster, did you just gamble me?
Asteris,
I decided to believe in you.
Me. Make sure
I
you
swear that guy needs subtitles.
come back.
till then, till next time, stay safe, stay blessed.
Happy for night.